So the book portion, like I've been on a reading spree, like so I finished Listen Liberal by Thomas Frank. It's crazy when you like 3 books in since you read that book, you forget about everything in the book that you read. But I do have a brief idea of like what I was reading about. It talks about the author talks about like the political party or the Democratic Party changing, and when it actually started changing during the time of Bill Clinton. Well, it changed before, but during the time of Bill Clinton, they had like
honestly both parties changing.
Both parties changing, but it talks a lot. What he focused a lot on in this book is how the Democratic Party changed a lot during the time of Bill Clinton, where it moved away from the people to the more aristocratic type person that's a more liberal person, where it's these people that are like in Ivy League colleges, like they were more protective of those types of liberals opposed to just the people, period. So with Clinton, like a lot of like things that he put in power, like the 3-strike rule, and he talks about, Obama had and he's actually a liberal too. And he actually, you could tell he hates Republicans.
He was roasting them.
Yeah, but he was actually telling them. He was just actually saying what it is, and he was talking about how Obama put like a lot of liberals in power. Like he had his whole big part of his presidential staff were people that were from Ivy League universities that couldn't understand certain things of the people. And I mean, this is a wake up book. A book that he said whatever happened to the party of the people, and it's a wake up book that talks about the imperfections of the Democratic Party and the imperfections of the government. Period. Yeah, I don't really read a lot of governmental books, but Nina got me. Nina Turner, shout out to Nina Turner, Senator Nina Turner. She told me to read this book, and she got another. It's another. I can't remember something. I can't remember the name of the book, but another book she told me to order. I ordered that book. I'm gonna read that book too, because I haven't read like any political books in a while because it's draining. It's draining.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
And especially around this time, it's really
and it's
draining.
election year too.
Yeah. But it's so interesting when you pick those books up. You just like, dang, this is like when you pick them up, you like it's stuff that you need to know, but it's still an opinion. It's still not like there's no there are facts blended in, but it's still an opinion of a person. Because if you talk to somebody that's a Democrat, if you talk to somebody that's a Republican, it is 2 different opinions that you have. So, Listen Liberal, I do recommend that you read this book just to get another idea. I do want to read Candace Owens' book because I'm not a fan of hers, but I do like to see what I oppose to. And I do want to read about things that because our book club is planning on reading the 2025 what's that called?
Project 2025.
Project 2025. We are going to read that in the book club. Project 2025 and we're going to be mad as hell reading it, but we do plan on reading it. I read Charlemagne's 3rd book. I already read his.
Oh, he be writing.
Yeah, so I read both his first. I read both his first. I read his other 2 books, and this is his 3rd book. Get Honest or Die Lying: Why Small Talk Sucks. I have a lot of opinion about this book.
Top 3.
Is it the top 3?
No, top 3 opinions. Go.
Top 3 opinions. It's an opinion book. that's one. It's not, like I don't agree with everything in the book. I don't like how the book starts dissing people that actually got a higher education, that actually went to college, and starts saying that having these higher educations it makes it sound like it's something that's defeatist to the person that actually went to college. When you are a person that believes in therapy, and would you go ahead and get a therapist that hasn't been to college, who haven't studied? So it's kind of like I hate when like these people that are influence of the hip hop community, they get and they try to like diss education, they try to slightly diss education, just like what's his name, Dr. Dre did when he was talking about, not Dr. Dre, Birdman did when he went to prison. He was talking about you don't need to read books. I don't like that because Charlemagne is one of my favorite people, and I just really did not like that. When he talks a lot about his relationship with his dad. So you said top 3, so. That was one of them.
You gave 2 already.
I gave 2. Let me see.
What's the 3rd one?
The 3rd. What would you say? 3.
Top 3 opinions.
Top 3 opinions.
You said you had a lot of opinions.
Okay, top 3 opinions, and then another opinion that I have about the book is, when he talks about oh God, let me see, because I didn't really like when he talks about small talk. He's saying that small talk is not necessary. He said he never small talk with people because it's not important. Like, what you're going to talk about is not important. He was talking about one small talk conversation that he had where he said, would you hang with someone, and would you be friends with someone if they were atheists? And he was talking about he had a conversation with a friend. And he said these conversations are not necessary because they don't really get to anything. They're just like really, if you're going to talk. He said that's how he has done his interview style this whole time. And which it makes sense. But I think that it's just like when I read books on like mental health or read books on like different ways that we can actually heal ourselves. Easier said than done because everybody small talk. Like, I don't want somebody to call me. You don't call me to small talk to ask me for something. Mm-hmm. Like I don't like that. But everybody small talk. Sometimes it's just, I feel like sometimes it just make time go by. Yeah. Just like I feel like gossip. When you gossip, it's in, if you read the book Sapiens. Humans gossip. Human beings gossip, and that's a part of the way that humanity has been able to survive. Is through us gossiping and exchanging information and talking and having these conversations. So yeah, I just think that small talk. I mean, I know that he's trying to shun us from doing small talk, but to each his own.
So what did you get out of the book?
What did I get out of the book? I got out of the book that Charlemagne wrote this book. He did a lot of writing on this book opposed to the other books. Because the style of the writing, I didn't like the simple style. Because I don't like things that are written very simple. I like to
right.
No, I like to read you got to get to the point. No small talk in the book, but I do like I hate short sentences and just like
you like complex things.
I like complex things because
you want to think while you're reading.
Exactly, it makes me yes, I don't like that. I really hate that. Like I hate we went to the store. We got there. We bought chips. Yeah, I don't like that style, right? Which makes me know that
you like details.
I like details. And then let me put this book up because what I said I was going to do. I'm tired of reading serious books. I was like, I'm going to read a work of fiction. So I found me a fictional author, Percival Everett. You ever heard of the movie American Fiction?
No. Okay,
all right. So you, Tracee Ellis Ross.
I don't know who that is.
You do know who that is?
Diana Ross's daughter.
Okay, yeah. She's in that movie. Great movie. It's on. You got Prime?
I do.
Okay, it's on Prime. Great movie. I went to the theater to see the movie. He wrote the book. It's called Erasure for that movie. This is fourth book I'm reading. He read last book was funny as hell. The one he had Trump saying the N-word a whole bunch of times in his last book, and he actually know how to write comedy. So this book, So Much Blue, is such a good book, but I'm not finished yet. I got I'm on page
50,
100,
75
I'll be finished, the next time I pick up the book, I'll be finished with the book.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, so the book is so good. So it's about an artist. And I love the way he writes his books because it's you can't tell if people black until he introduces their race in the book later. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like somebody that went to Ivy League school, somebody be a lawyer, and then he introduced their race later, be like, they're black. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, oh, this is really great. So it's an artist with a father and an artist he's married and he has a daughter and a son, and they're the daughter's 16, son is 11. He has a best friend named Richard, and his wife's name is Linda.
What's the plot of the book? The
plot of the book is he is in Paris, and because it's 3 different stories. There's a story of him being at home. Because the way this author, he writes a lot of his books like this. The story of him being at home, because he tells different stories in the book. The story of him being at home is a story back in his past when him and his best friend Richard went to go pick up his brother. Because the brother was in Mexico, Mexico, and was trying to sell drugs, and they went to go pick up his brother, and it flashes back. It flashes back and forth. It goes Paris House, 1979, Paris House, 1979, and so everything is gonna come together. I ain't get there yet, but his daughter is pregnant, and told him, but not told. But he's his daughter. He's a little estranged from his family, even because he's in Paris right now with this woman that's a little bit older than his daughter, that he's cheating with. That he's cheating with, Even his friend came to Paris. He's in an art show in Paris and everything. And his wife, like, even it's crazy because when you read a book, his wife like, oh, you meeting up with whatever Vanetta or whatever her name is. And then he like, yeah, I just met her. But his wife doesn't know that he's like sleeping with this woman, and it got to the point where she's like, I know what you're over there doing, because he has a drinking problem. And I'm like, oh, she finally figured out that he's cheating.
Are you telling us this whole book?
No, I'm just no, but it's crazy because
I feel like I know so much already.
No, but it's crazy because she was like, you're over there. I thought she was gonna say he cheating. She like, oh no, you're over there drinking because he was an alcoholic and he stopped drinking. This woman makes him stop drink. And
so she good for him.
She's 22 and he's like 50 something. She's not really good for him.
How do you feel about large age gaps in relationships?
That is ridiculous. 22 and it's different. It's different when
we should make it a topic.
Because it's different. It's different because in his circumstance, he's married. First of all, he has a daughter that's 16. He has a daughter that's 16, and then he's trying to play like he wants to keep his family. You know what I'm saying? And he has all this experience with his family. And then what makes the book even weird, he's meeting the daughters, the girl, the 22-year-old woman. He's meeting her mother now. Like he's met her mother. Like they're
in a relationship.
Kinda. It's been like a week, and they're like in a relationship. But so
it's like a longer fling.
Yeah, it's like a longer fling, and it's like it's very the way it's written.
I feel like you're telling the whole book,
but the way this author writes, man, it's like amazing how this dude writes. I just like the way he put. Like I'm just
you selling the book, but
I'm telling you, this book
should it become a movie?
Yes. Yes, especially the part where they're in Mexico and people getting killed.
I feel like you're telling the whole book.
No, this got to be a movie, dude. Like, seriously,
write a letter. Percival Everett.
He's always in Cleveland.
I'll send you an email.
Percival Everett is always in Cleveland. Always in Cleveland. So
they shoot a lot of movies in Cleveland.
So the next time he come to Cleveland, I'm gonna tell him that he needs to make this a movie, because it's better than Erasure. Like it's better than American Fiction. Like this is like, I think this is like such a good book. Like this is one of the best fictions I've written.
So what are we learning from this book? Like what are we getting out of it?
That if you cheat, you gotta go out the country. No,
well, that's a lesson. You know.
No, what I'm learning from. You want to know what the main thing about is how he writes. He makes you feel like you're there. Okay. And a lot of people don't.
And so, are you reading it like? Is it feeling like I'm texting my friend and they just told me a long story?
Yeah, exactly. And when he when he talked to his friend in the book. His friend Richard and Eric though, when he talked to his friend Richard in the book, it sounded like how I could tell the author like he just
he just be yapping.
He a real man. You know what I'm saying? But he's very articulate.
He a real one.
Yeah, and I could tell like when he talking with him and his friend talking, I could tell like it's not something we would say. He's like with him and his friend, just like that's how he writes.
Should we start a book club? The Thought Ops book club?
It would be great. Eric probably take 3 years to finish the book. Yeah.
Count me out.
Yeah. So. Anthony would be like, Anthony be all done before me. Like me and Anthony read this book. Anthony read this book too. And he was like,
this gonna take me
he kind of held up yeah. Anthony read fast.
Is it your turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
So man, I'm gonna be quick and brief with mine. So so I'm still reading Cass, and it's just so ironic that this book starts off talking about the 2016 election with Trump and everything, and here we are, 2024, Trump again. So it talks about how like the caste system in India and how in America the caste system is about race, and it tells a story about like how Martin Luther King went over to India, met with some people, and I think the India is all about like family structure, whatever, just like the hierarchies and all that other stuff. And they have like the untouchables. They call them untouchables, which is like the lower class.
But the caste system is set up over, because I read the book too. Yeah. The caste system is set up over there. It's based on pigment, skin color. It's based on how dark you are. Which we have a caste system in the black community.
And that's how she talked about like the caste system, how they use the caste system in Germany,
Dubai.
I haven't got to the Dubai part.
But it's the same thing.
But
I want to go to Dubai.
Yeah, but it's like it's just crazy how she's talking about like the election and Trump and politics and all that, and it's like we're going through the same crap again. So
history repeats itself.
Yeah, it's repeating itself a little bit worse right now.
And it's quickly.
Yeah,
really, very quickly.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
How are you liking that book?
It's cool.
I feel like
it's a tough read.
It's an easy read.
But I kind of felt like you shouldn't have started with that book by her, because if I had started with that book by her, I wouldn't have read her second. I wouldn't have read her first book. Oh, I mean, because that book was okay, and even though she made a movie from that book, and I feel like everybody think that book was great, I don't think it was like it was good. But The Warmth of Other Suns, her first book. I bet you would love that book.
That sounds like fiction.
No, it's not fiction. It's about the Great Migration. So the stories about the families. You know what I'm saying? I like reading about stuff like that. Stories about the families and stuff they was going through, especially family that moved to Chicago, how broke they was, or especially the doctor that moved to California that was what's his name, Ray Charles doctor, and how he used to be like had a gambling problem. It's a and all the racism they went through, like everybody had like different racial barriers that they had to deal with.
It's like a political race book. So if you're in a political race book, damn. Hopefully I can get through this world.
By the next episode, you're gonna have your final thoughts.
Hopefully, it's too much stuff going on right now with politics. It's like I don't want to watch politics and read politics, and it's just like everything politics.
I got a suggestion, dude. Since you feeling down and you like, I got a suggestion, man. You need to read a fictional book.
You need to read some smut.
Yeah. You need to. Yeah.
I mean, I used to read like.
Oh, what's
what is like the?
You need some super salacious, nasty.
It's some smut in this book. It's some smut in this.
I mean, I could tell based on what it's about that it would probably be some smut in there.
Yeah, like he
like you talking about a 50-year-old that's in somewhere with his 22-year-old girlfriend. They definitely got some sex.
And then he think her mama fine too. And then his friend had a little young girlfriend before too. And a young wife, and his wife left him because she got tired of sleeping with an old man. But so she went and started sleeping with a woman.
That's deep.
His friend Richard, his friend is funny. Like his friend is funny in the book.
So since we talk about reading, are you reading any books?
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. So
or have you read any books?
I have read some.
Anything interesting you want to give to the people?
Okay, so shout out to my best friend Rena. She started a book club called Book Bays. It's based here right in Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, we have been doing this book club for like 2-3 years. I've been in the book club for like the whole time. I have not completed a book since we started the book club. I will read like 60% of the book, 75% of the book. Sometimes I only read like the first 100 pages. Sometimes I just stop reading it. It's not because I don't like reading. It's that I just get bored reading words. And I don't really like audiobooks either.
I was just about to say.
I don't really like them. Everybody always say, get the audiobook, listen to it in your car. If I'm in the car, I listen to music.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I really don't like audio.
But the most recent book that we read, I don't know if I can say this on, can I say this on YouTube?
Yeah.
My Sister, the Serial Killer. Have you read that?
Yes, that book was great. I got it in there. I love that book. Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, I really did. You didn't like that book?
I didn't like the style of writing.
I was just about to. It was very poorly written.
It was hard to read.
Yeah, it was very poorly written.
Is the author like Nigerian or something? Yeah, so it's like
it was very poorly written.
I don't know.
But the story is good because her sister was
crazy.
Her sister was
she was crazy. She was pissing me off though. Like, and I think that's why I stopped reading things. I'm like, you know what? She's just dumb.
Yeah,
and I'm just over it.
Yeah, and she like, oh my, because she was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? She was kind of like allowing her sister to have this bad behavior.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know if y'all have siblings. I have a sister. My sister 18 years older than me. Shout out to my sister Kelly. When you have like a bad relationship with your sibling, and you kind of want to be the sibling that your parents look at as the golden child, I'll let my sister, I'm not saying me, but you will let your sister do some crazy stuff to make yourself seem better. Like if my sister doing crazy stuff, she getting C's, all I gotta do is get a B to look like a better child. That's kind of like how it was, you know. But like I said, I didn't finish the book. I listened to everybody else talk about the book at the book club, and it's so crazy because how me and you are having this discourse right now, and how I'm kind of like, and you're like, I loved it. That's kind of how it was at the book club. There was like some people really liked it. Some people were like,
I really liked it. It was just the style of writing was hard to. It was like it was not well written, and
it felt like it was introduction the whole time.
Yeah, it was like
okay, when are we gonna get to the
and it kind of felt like like this must be her first book, like the way it was written. But then the story was so good, it was so like crazy. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to reading it because it was recommended to me. It was recommended to me.
Man, if you want me to read it, make it a Tubi movie.
Yeah. All right.
So that's why you need some smut.
Okay, so
a Tubi movie, you need some smut.
So we're about to go on to the next portion of the show. And
Business time.